Christina.
Hey, Lisa, looks like you're out for a walk today.
I'm ready to start my summer. What do you think?
Yeah, no kidding. What a glorious, glorious day
Woo!
is out there today.
So beautiful. And of course, I was working all day, and then I had these puppers who needed to go for a walk. And so I strapped them on their leash, and it's just gorgeous out here. Like,
Yeah.
very a little bright.
Hey, it's all good. Multitasking at its best.
you know, it's going to be good for us to have some summertime. And even though I love doing the podcast with you, it's probably about time that we take a bit of a break and just get some good summer activities in.
Yeah. I can't agree with you more. And I think it's nice. And then, it's also not just us too, right? It's like
Yeah.
summer's busy. Everybody's out there as they should be, enjoying that
Yes.
sunshine, getting outside, enjoying these longer days that we have up here in Canada, especially in the north.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
so let's take full advantage of that without having to worry about listening to us.
Yeah. Why would they want to listen to us?
Not
We
not that they would worry about it anyway, but just
they'd
saying.
be like, oh my gosh, I have to listen to the baking scraps. What am I gonna do?
They feel committed, okay?
They do.
There's
I
a
think some
commitment.
people do. There is a level of commitment.
Yeah, and
Um,
we so appreciate it.
we do appreciate it so much. Um, but we will be likely airing some of our favorite episodes. So would be great if people would let us know what their favorite Baking Scraps episode was, who they might want to see again, hear again.
That would be awesome. Maybe I'll put a little survey on a little question on our stories in the coming days.
That sounds like a really good idea. I'm glad that you take care of the social media stuff because, man, every time I try, I just realize this is not my favorite thing to do.
Yeah,
I'm not very good at it.
you're good at it. You're good at it. It's just you're busy. You're a busy gal.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
And speaking of busy gals, we have an amazing guest to finish off this part of our season. Is this is this a season or is this part of our season?
I think we'll call it a season. Yeah.
Okay, so
finishing off season
Survivor.
2.
We're going to be Survivor that has multiple seasons in a year.
Yes, we do 2 seasons every year, apparently.
There we go. Perfect.
So you're comparing us to Survivor? Wow, that's big stakes. Sorry about the poo bag.
Well, some days it does feel like Survivor. Right?
That is true.
Like Survivor sometimes. So
definitely. But yes, we do have an amazing guest for our last episode this season. It was so nice to be able to talk with her. So we're excited to share our conversation. Natasha, who is otherwise known as Cape Batter on Instagram. And we got to know her through Instagram. And then we got to know her a little bit better when we got to see her participating in the Holiday Baking Championship with our good pal, Stephen Levitt. So it is very exciting for us to be able to talk with her today.
I am super excited.
Enjoy this chat.
Yes. And welcome to our podcast, Natasha. Well, welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's been a long time coming, hey?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's just been chaotic. So I appreciate you ladies being so cooperative and helpful and everything.
Of course.
We're just thrilled that we were able to make something work within your schedule. And I know you've been so crazy busy. I mean, life happens. You have two littles. You've got amazing home business. Oh, and let's not forget that you actually moved and then had a whole pile of renos in your new place too. So, hey, you know what? We give you mad props for keeping it all together. And we do so appreciate that you've made some time in your super busy schedule.
It's amazing that you're finding any time to talk to
Lil. Oh my God. I'm so excited. And honestly, who isn't busy? It's just, it is what it is. Life is just crazy always. So we all have something going on.
It's so true. This morning we've dragged ourselves out of bed and we're just like, okay, we can do this. And then I'm like, hey, it's Natasha. She's going to wake us up. We're going to have no problems.
Just giggle the whole time. That'll keep you going.
Works for us. Works for
Some
us.
good sound bites, that's for sure.
Oh God, I hate that sound. Every time I hear it, I'm like, no, do I sound like that? Do I really sound like that?
Oh, it's so infectious though. I love it.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll take it.
It's hard because you tend to, for me personally, and I've talked to Christina about this, my first husband, my kid's dad, he told me that he doesn't like my laugh, which really is a hard thing because when you laugh, you want to be able to just be genuine and spontaneous, but he didn't like the way it sounded. And so now I'm
My God.
so much more self-conscious of it. And especially like listening back to the recordings, I'll just be like, oh no. But hopefully,
No, that's who you are. That's like the essence of a person. It's like when they cry, when they laugh, when they're mad, like, yeah, okay, it might not be great to see yourself, but it's important. You want to see the true person, not of scripted or fake or,
it's true.
what have you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But
so
I
true.
understand what it feels like to just be like more hyper aware of it,
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
love your laugh. So please,
Well,
please
thank
know that.
Laughter in any
Thank you.
Yeah. And truly laughter is one of those great joys in life. If you can laugh and like in any format, and I think that's the best part. Like I love those people who when they're telling a joke and maybe the joke isn't that funny, but they think it's hilarious and they just start cracking up and they're howling. And that's the absolute best for me is when they're having so much fun with it. And I mean, it was a crappy joke or not that funny or whatever, but the fact that they are just so they're so involved in it, they're just owning it all and just let it all go that's the best part for me, I think, is
That's what makes it fun.
So true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best times when people are telling a joke and they can barely get it out because they're laughing so hard. And you're just like, I have no idea what you're saying, but you're so tickled that it's tickling me.
Totally.
Exactly.
I love that.
Totally. Aw.
So, Natasha, why don't you introduce yourself for those who may not have heard of you? Or, since we're Canadian and maybe some of our Canadian people don't know you as well. Of
And
course,
they need to know you.
and they need to know you. We're
They
very
need to
familiar
know
with
you.
you,
About that.
but
Well,
we need a little bit of background.
Yeah, I'm Natasha. I'm Natasha Aschoff. I live in Plymouth, Massachusetts, in the States. I have a little home bakery. I say it's little, but it feels big. I do a lot of like custom cakes, weddings, bridal showers, a lot of events mostly, and then we do cakes here and there. I just started doing some like pop-ups at our house, so we do like a little porch bakery pop-up, kind of like your micro bakery situation where people can come by, grab some goodies that I bake for the weekend. Usually it's on like a special week, or if I have time, then I'll do that. And yeah, I mean, I have two little kids, Magdalena and Nikolai. Magdalena's about to be 4 in a couple weeks, and Nico, we call him Nico, is 5 years old. And my husband Adam is a chef as well, so food is very well versed in this house. So
No
yeah,
kidding.
that's kind of a little bit about me.
That's amazing. And like I said, what a busy household you have. And I love that you guys are all involved in it in some way as well, with your husband being a chef and you do. So you've got both sides covered, the sweet and the savory. And I mean, holy,
Oh my God.
the kids are
It's
so
why I'm
lucky.
so fit.
I mean,
We're
I just
working on it.
feel
That's
like
a constant evolution.
I feel like I would really enjoy a visit to your house.
Totally.
You ladies are welcome anytime. We love like hosting, and now that we have a home big enough to do it, we just moved, so we have the space to do it. But yeah, we love food. I mean, that's actually how my husband and I met. We met working together, so it's kind of like your sort of server chef situation. And then I cooked on the line for a little bit. We worked in the same department, and then yeah, things just changed, evolved once we had kids and a family. So I decided to do something from home and take a risk.
Well, how did you start baking in the first place?
It all starts with my mom. And I talked about my mom a lot on the show and like just all that good stuff. You'll always hear me reference my mom or things she's taught me. But ever since I was little, I mean, we're Croatian. So both my parents come from the same island in Croatia, and like food is everything. If you're a Greek, that's like the closest nationality I compare it to, or Italian, or Eastern European. Like food is everything. And we grew up just eating a lot, always home baking things. There's a running joke, like when we were kids, if you wanted a snack in our house, you had to boil pasta. Like that was snack. Like my mom didn't buy chips, she didn't buy goldfish, she didn't buy like the 7 million snacks my kids ask for a day. But that's where food came from. And I just loved learning from her. And, once I got into my teens, I wanted to do stuff on my own and prove that I could make things. And it was cooking always. I always loved to cook. And then baking was just extra special because it was harder. And I wanted to prove, like, you don't think I can do it? I can do it. So, yeah. Yeah. And then I went to school. I got I didn't go to school for baking at all, or cooking, or anything culinary. I wanted to, but come from a very traditional family where that line or field is not really considered a career. So I said, fine, I love working with people. I love psychology. I wanted to be a marriage counselor. And then after I got my bachelor's, I decided to just take a couple of jobs in the food industry, and I never looked. So that's what happened.
Well, when you have a passion that runs so deep, it's actually always going to probably steer you, like if in the back of the mind, in your mind, or if that's really what your soul was telling you wanted to do, it's going to guide you in the places that it should take. Yeah, it'll take you to get to your, ultimate passion. So that's
exactly. And anyone who knows me knows I'm stubborn, like stubborn to the core. Like I try to be as sweet as can be, but when I want something and I want it my way, it's gonna happen. And that's the same thing with like my career. I just, after I graduated and got my bachelor's, I was supposed to get my master's. I was actually looking to go out to California. And then I was flight attending for a little bit to save money. And then I ended up getting a job at Whiteman's Food Markets, which is over here. And that just like took me. It took my whole body. And I was like, I want to ride this as long as I can and try to do something and get skills from dish room to cooking to baking, whatever I can do to get my hands on in the industry. So,
yeah, that's incredible. I love that.
Yeah. So what was your first sort of foray into selling your goods?
And so after I would always do it for like friends and family, of course, how everyone starts. Once I had my son and I was working for a local bakery. I had just left, I think. And then I started doing a property management job for a friend. Her father-in-law owned a company on the Cape, in Cape Cod. And it was great. They're an amazing family. We still keep in touch. And I just was like, I have time now that I have a 9-to-5 job and not a job that I can actually, play. And I started like a blog series that didn't really last long. And then people started asking for actual like things like cakes. And I think the first order I did was a communion for a real estate agent that we were working with. And she actually helped find us this home as well. And then from there, it took off. Like people got word of mouth, they tasted it, they liked it. And like, I look at my first cakes and I'm like, oh my God, I did not sell them. I did not sell them. But now I'm like, you know what? We all start somewhere. I'm super proud. It got the name out. And the most important thing to me was that I always make sure that quality is there. Like it tastes good. Like, might not be picture perfect, but it will always taste good.
Yeah. Well, when it's done with so much passion and love, all of that shines through in like the cake itself, right? And so and you can't beat a custom cake, right? You can just see all the extra, it's different. It hits differently. So I think we all look back at some of those first initial bakes and you're like, oh. I think everybody can say that about anything that they do for the first time. They're, it's okay, it's acceptable, it can go out, and I'm sure it was amazing. And I think that's the other part of it. As a baker, you kind of look back at anything that you do and go, well, you see all the warts and stuff.
Even the stuff that goes out now. I mean, we're our own worst critic, right? We're gonna be like
the worst.
Yeah. It's not fun to put something out there and be like, I don't think this is fantastic, but I hope you do.
Yeah.
No, and
You
like
see,
we all have those days. And like in my head, like everyone always says, you care too much, you're your own worst critic. It's true. But the day that I stop having those thoughts is the day I lost my love for what I do.
right.
And I don't ever want to reach that point ever, ever.
No, no, and
No.
we hope you don't, because
No.
oh man, what a disservice to the world that would be.
No kidding. And
Right
your
back at you.
Thank you.
and your creations are absolutely stunning. They really are. And they look as beautiful as they look super tasty as well. So you can just see all of the details and the care and I mean, they just look like I want to take a bite. And I'm literally sometimes when I'm scrolling through your page, I'm like, oh my goodness, that looks so good. I'm kind of drooling and I'm really hungry. And
Well, you guys are too sweet. Stop.
beautiful, beautiful
Thank you.
stuff.
Part of a mutual
Thank you.
admiration society, right? I mean, you know that we have admired you for a while, like long before you were on this show that we're going to discuss. We had already been
Yes,
friends
yeah.
with you on Instagram, and then I had chatted with you a couple of times. Christina, I don't know if you had chatted with Natasha before, but it has been so much fun to kind of get to know each other through this social media thing. And then all of a sudden to be like, oh, okay, my buddy Steve is on this show. And then I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, Natasha's also on this show.
Yeah. Totally. And then we also knew Megan as well. So
Yes,
we had been following Megan too. So it was like for us, I mean, that's the best part for us is when there's a new show on and we start watching it. And we're like, oh goodness, we know that person.
Yeah, that was so much
That's
fun.
the best feeling.
And then you're instantly invested, right?
Oh yeah.
Not that we wouldn't have been before anyway, because we're suckers for all baking shows, but you know, it makes it even that much more special to watch when you actually, you know, quote unquote knows somebody. So
No, it's emotional. It's a connection. Like, I don't know. I still watch now and I'm like, oh wait, I follow them online. And then like I get deeper into their account and what they do. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Like that's what they're known for. Or all the little, you know, quirks that make them who they are. You get to see on TV and that's special, you know? It's different.
It's really special.
totally.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you ended up on the Baking Championship? And had you done any other kind of TV show before that?
This is a funny story. So no, I've never done a baking competition or show or anything like. I think it's funny because it's classic Natasha. But so it was what around like September. Like I was doing some Halloween planning and you know getting ready for like fall menu planning and. Someone contacted me via Instagram, like, here we go, it's a spam. Hey, we love you on our show. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. And then I go on my Facebook like the next day, same person. I'm like, all right, they're really like, you know, spam has gotten good these days. Like, they're going on both forums. And then I get like a voice message. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And my husband, he also like is connected to my phone. And he's like, no, honey, this isn't a scam. Like, it's for the Food Network. And I'm like, Adam, do you know how many people go online and probably, you know, fish for people that are like interested in baking or like, here, you can win this, you can win that. And then I listened to the message and she's like, we're not a scam and my name is so-and-so. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I feel like an idiot because it's been like 3-4 days. She's tried contacting me various like outlets. And I was just like, oh my God, this isn't real. So I like immediately started crying. I'm just emotional. You guys know I'm like super emotional. And I was like, no, this can't be. So I'm like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? I'll put an application through. So chatted with this lady, put an application through and went through the process. I'm like, you know, I have nothing to lose. I doubt I'm gonna make it far. Like I don't have a culinary degree. I don't have like a famous shop or anything. And it just kept going. And this went on, you know, they actually recruited me for Halloween baking championship. So I did like some special bakes for that. And then she was going further through my stuff and was like, do you love the holidays? I'm like, I am literally Christmas that like threw up. Like every year, that's me. Like I love Christmas. And she was like, oh, for holiday baking championship, we're gonna do another like interview and screen you, but it won't be as crazy. And then the rest was history. But like Steven, I did not know for sure until like the Monday of that Friday that I was flying out. It was crazy. I'm like, am I on the show? Like, I have my kids like stay with my parents. Like, what's happening here? Like, I
Yeah.
didn't
How do
know
you
my husband
organize
worked.
all that? Because you had little kids, right? Like they were 3 and 4.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were still
Wow.
little at that point, and I was just like, okay, like we're gonna plan for it. My parents were super helpful. I'm very grateful they live, like 20 minutes away.
Good.
And my husband was kind of told work like, hey, FYI, like I might have to take off for like a few weeks without like being able to say anything because everything was at that point you can't reveal anything. So
Yeah. For like
yeah, it was
ever.
crazy. But no. And then I found out finally they sent me a ticket. I was like, okay, I guess we're flying out to LA.
So literally that's how you found out you were really on the show, when you got the ticket, when they sent you the ticket
No,
and went, we'll see you in
really.
LA
Yeah, like
and
no
like
official
Friday.
exactly. No official email that was like, you're 100% on the show. Like I had an idea and I think I reached out. And then after I reached out, I got the ticket and it's like a separate email. I'm like, okay, all right.
Wow. So they
But I
must,
had lots. I'm sorry, go ahead.
well, when they go through the whole interview process, they must be like, are you available for this? So that they know for sure.
Right.
And then they just expect you to plan for it because, they're the Food Network. So it's
And that
like,
was the other thing. Like, well, yeah, they're Food Network. Like, who's gonna say no? But
right?
obviously, like, what I do is like my living too. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, March is at least a slow time. So I'm like, I'm just gonna block off the entire month. Whatever happens, happens. But I think I had to pick up that morning of my flight for an order. So I was up the night before baking, right before I flew.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
And so
but I'm
during all of
grateful. I'm so glad.
yeah,
course.
amazing. And we're so glad that you ended up on the holiday one as well, because I mean, your stuff was just so beautiful throughout the whole show. But going back though, so you're going through the whole audition process, and you're waiting to hear. Did you like get a chance to like do any practicing, or
Right.
did you do any of that before in anticipation that you would be on the show? Or
Oh my gosh. Like, how do you
It
prepare
was-
for a show where you have no idea what they're going to ask you to make?
Well, that was the thing. I had no idea. And like they give you an inkling of like things to know, but it's like, here's the encyclopedia of baking, know all of it. Cool, great, thanks. That's really helpful.
should I start on any page, or? And yeah,
Are we talking like basic techniques? Are we doing lamination? Are we like, what is happening? But it was also during Christmas week, like Christmas week. So I literally told my parents, like, listen, I gotta pull an all-nighter because I needed to make like special audition bakes. And I'm like, I have orders to fulfill. Like I was booked like through and through. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So my parents took the kids like overnight and I just like stayed up and made a couple of things that I thought would be cool. And then, you kind of interview with them while you're doing it as well. The next morning, it was crazy. I'm like, this couldn't have come at a worse time. But if I don't seize the moment, like, what's the point? Like, just let's go for it, see what happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can sleep the next day.
Exactly.
Eventually, you can sleep when the kids are grown up, basically, is what it is. But
That's true.
okay. So not only did we get to cheer you on at the beginning of the show, we got to keep cheering for our buddies week after week after week, which was pretty impressive. So how did that feel as you kept advancing? You kept getting past all these challenges they were throwing at you until you were a
I'm in
finalist.
awe. I'm still in shock. Like, what? I mean, you have like Rolf, who's a professor, literally a professor. Rafi, like, we're not even gonna talk about him. He's in his own tier of like crazy baking. He's amazing. I mean,
It's pretty
Steven
amazing.
had done it before. Like, he has all this knowledge and like how to calm himself and just go with the flow. Megan, I mean, I don't even need to say words about Megan. She's just like
Oh, we love
pristine.
Megan.
Everything about her is aesthetically like, ooh, like you just want to watch everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone there was so talented. I'm like, what? First of all, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Was what I thought the entire time. I would call my husband because you can't really talk to anybody, and he's like, "Are you there another day?" And I'm like, "I don't know how. I don't know why, but I'm still here. So.
How does it feel when you're in the moment and they're like, okay, this is your assignment. This is what you're going to do. And Jesse says, okay, go. And you're just like, is your mind immediately working on, like, how much time do you have to start thinking about what you're going to bake before you're actually baking it? Or do you just go and start working on something right away?
Pretty much what you see is literally how it was. Like you have, okay, maybe a few extra moments than what you see on camera. But at that point, like when I do cakes or custom cakes, I spend hours like scrolling ideas, and I don't spend 10 minutes to say, this is the flavor, this is the design. I'm like, oh my God, what do I know? What can I do? Like you just panic. But at the same time, if you can't get your body to just be nobody's there, then screwed, for lack of a better word. Like you just have to kind of bring it in and be like, okay, what do I need to do? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Because I'm also indecisive. So part of me wants to sit there and be like, ooh, I could do this. I could do that. What if I try this new flavor? But you don't have time for that. It's just go and do it and figure it out.
Yeah, fair enough.
That'd
Now,
be so stressful.
oh, totally. Was there any specific bake that when it was announced, okay, we want you to do XYZ, that you just went, oh, crumb, that is not my wheelhouse? And how'd you get through
I think
it?
we all know. I think we all know what episode that is.
Tell us
The
all about it.
entree. Oh my God. So I forget exactly which episode that is, but the white elephant game with the swath and everything.
Yep.
That was like, okay. I wanted to do an entree at one point, and I kept like saving it because I knew it wasn't like my strong house, but I knew like I do it for family, but it's not something I do like weekly or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, I really want pistachio. I haven't done pistachio anything yet. I'm super excited. Like, it'll be great. The flavors, I have an idea. I got pistachio. I'm like, okay, it's an entree. Like, we'll figure it out. And then Steven takes it, and I'm like, why? Why me? And I get sticky toffee pudding, and never before have I even seen or eaten a sticky toffee pudding. And I'm like, entrees are already hard for me. And what I know basically of like the combination is, it's almost impossible. Like they didn't show, but when we were doing judging, Duff said entree and sticky toffee don't go. The nature of sticky toffee pudding is super soft, super luscious. You need to have a liquidity to it. It's not meant to be an entree. So I really, really struggled, obviously. But what I want to like shoot myself in the foot for is like I could have just waited a little extra, but the entire show, the timing that you get, I always told myself I want to be done at least 5 minutes before it's over, so I have time to deal with any disasters. Which, I mean, there was no saving that lobster sliding off the side of the cake, but I was so upset. And then I cried on top of it. I was like, no, you cannot cry on national TV. Like, that can't be a thing. But it was fine. I mean, it was fine. Jesse was super sweet about it. I remember, like, all the girls swoon and ooh and ah for Jesse, which, don't get me wrong, he's super handsome and very nice in person. And he went over to, like, give me a hug, and everything inside me was like, don't touch me. Just don't touch me. Like, I'm gonna cry more. Give me a hug.
Yeah.
So it was really funny. But that
He's a good Canadian boy.
That I panicked. Yes, he is. But yeah, that episode I just panicked because I knew it was not going to turn out in my favor, and I was lucky up until now. I'm like, something's going to happen. Like, this is it.
Such a hard thing having to deal with that on camera, like you're not just dealing with your own private frustrations in your kitchen. This is something that people are going to see. And maybe in the moment you're not thinking about that, but you just want to present your best bake.
No, you're right. Like, I was thinking about that the whole time. Like, I mean, who isn't like conscious of themselves? Like, I'm always like that, especially having a business and like what I put forward, like on social media. Like, no one ever puts crying, yelling, or we don't see those things. So you want to like keep that vision, and that is who I am. But I'm normal like everyone else. I cry, I scream, I have bad days. I want to throw in the towel and say, take it, I don't want it. But you don't want to show that on TV. And then once I cried, it was like waterworks because I let a little bit out. And then after that, it was just like, oh no, we're going to full on
all the emotions.
Drown myself in tears. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
But I mean, for us, having seen you on Instagram and we see the very curated Cape batter, you know, it's so endearing to be able to learn more about you and get to see you as, you know, the human that you are. And I think it just makes everybody fall in love with you a lot more when you're that vulnerable with your emotions.
yeah, absolutely.
That was a surprise. Like up until the show aired, I really was like, I was dreading it. I kept joking with my family, like there's gonna be a meme of me like with a lobster like melting. It's gonna be so bad. And I can't tell you the amount of messages I got from people. Like it was a lot. People were just like, oh my gosh, like seeing you get emotional made me emotional, made me feel like I was there with you. And I was like, okay, well, I guess it played out like better than I could have imagined. And then I realized, actually, that's when I realized I don't share enough of like the hard stuff sometimes.
Mm.
So I think after that point, especially on my social media, like I started having moments where I share certain things, whether it was in my career or frustrations like at home or yeah, I'm behind like 3 days on email or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
So it's good to be
Just
real.
keeping it real, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's good for us to know that you're human, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think-
Stephen felt very, very bad about doing that to you, you know?
Oh, he did. Let's be, I'm not just kidding. He did. He did. He told me right away, like after it all happened, he was like, I am so sorry. I'm like, listen, it's a game. Like, why are you apologizing? Roles reversed, I would have done the same thing. Like,
There you go.
we're there to win, right? Like, we're not there to, I mean, yeah,
True.
we want to be friends and be great and, you know, help
Yeah.
each other out, which we did the entire show. But
Yeah.
when the moment comes, you got to take your moment, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Pistachio was a good choice. I would have gone for that too. I have never tasted sticky toffee pudding. I have no idea what it is.
It's one of my favorite desserts, actually.
Well, you should have done that
delicious.
challenge.
My best friend's British, and that's her favorite. So for her birthday, I often bake a sticky toffee pudding cake or something related to sticky toffee pudding for her. So yeah, so it was, I when I saw you had the sticky toffee pudding, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what she does with this. Because it's
So next time you can make a sticky
Lobster
toffee
boil.
entremet for your friend.
but
I keep saying I'm gonna remake it one day. I will. Like maybe this holiday season I'll remake it for fun.
But
Yeah.
it's a beautiful, beautiful dessert though. The flavor combo and the textures and everything are just, yeah.
Yeah, once I got home and like I researched it more, I was like, oh wow, this is actually right up my alley. Like I love anything like that and super moist and warm on top of that, as opposed to like a cold dessert. Which is usually the case. Yeah.
It's kind of handy to have something that needs to be warm when you're on a time crunch.
Except when it melts.
Yeah, except when it melts. Yeah, that's why it doesn't go too well with entremet. That makes some sense. Yes.
Well, you had some beautiful bakes as well. One that sticks in my mind, I think, and I'm probably not the only one, but your Lambeth cake, the Christmas tree. Oh my goodness. I mean, that was probably one of the prettiest things I've seen baked on a baking show ever.
Oh my
Aw.
God, stop.
Really gorgeous. Really gorgeous.
Thank you. I was lucky to get that color palette. Like I got a green, first of all, it was a Kelly green.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to do justice to this. But like looking back at it, I want to pick apart the details. But in the time frame, I was happy. I was happy I did a carved cake. I remember Rafi was next to me and we always like helped each other out. And he looked at me and he was like, no, don't do it. Like you're not gonna have time. I'm like, Rafi, don't tell me that. I already started cutting out the rings. I'm like, it's too late. Like it's happening. And we talked about it like a little bit, and Steven across the way was like, just go for it. Like you're in it, go for it. You're gonna make it work. And I'm like, I'm known for cakes. I've already done one cake at this point. Like I have to do something elevated and a little bit different because I don't want to like just cop out with it and be safe.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, like when am I ever gonna get the chance to do this again? So
Yes.
I just went for it.
Yeah.
And it works.
It paid off. It
Oh,
definitely
it was-
paid off.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful. And then the
Thank
other
you.
thing, like, you know, with the bakers, and yes, it's a competition, and yes, people are in it to win it because there is a nice little cash prize at the end of the day. But I loved, like you said, how everybody kind of helped each other out, and it really looked like there were some beautiful, genuine friendships that came out of your time baking together.
Absolutely. Yeah. We all still keep in touch for the most part. Like definitely a little less now than like when we were watching the show and when it aired again. But I don't know, it's really cool. And I don't know if it's because I was part of the season, but I've watched all the holiday, the Halloween, all the baking shows. And I just feel like ours is definitely one of the one seasons that stands out. You could feel it. And I think a lot of people, like I would go on Reddit or like other online forums, and people were constantly saying that you could feel the camaraderie, the like relationships with certain people, and I'm glad it showed on screen because I feel like that could probably be a very hard thing for the producers to capture. So it was cool that that came through, and you didn't just get competition because American shows are just like, you know, how much can you, who can establish, who's the money? Like it was nice to see more of a warming effect on it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we feel the same way about that particular season. And it's funny because then the Spring Baking Championship came out and we didn't know a single person on it, you know, and
yeah.
after having known three people on the Holiday Baking Championship, it was kind of ironic, but definitely there was that family feeling on there. And I don't think it was just because we knew three of you.
No, I think
No.
so too. I think we just worked. And it's funny because if you look at everyone's backgrounds, their ages, their careers, like totally different. I mean, so all ethnicities, like all ages. It was just really cool. Like, I don't know. I loved it. Like the guys, I loved everybody, but the guys are my favorite. Like Rolf, Rafi, and Steven. Like they definitely were like close to my heart the entire time. They're funny and they know I like to joke around and it was cool.
Oh, it
Yeah.
must have been such a great experience for you.
It was great. I'll never live it up again in my head because it was so awesome. But yeah, I can't believe that I was there and did that at all.
Well, we were
Definitely.
happy you were on there because you were really such a joy to watch and to see your journey through the whole show. And we're so happy that you made it right to the very end as well.
Thank
Because
you.
yeah, it was just so nice. It was such a great season.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I have to agree. It was fun.
Yes. So how was it keeping that secret? And I know you had to keep that secret for a very, very long time.
So long. And like you sign a lot of stuff that you can't like reveal or say anything about anything. It was a year almost, like well, it felt like a year, but it was at least what 6 to 8 months we have to keep that a secret. And it was just insane. Like couldn't say anything. Obviously my husband knew. My parents knew to some effect because they had to watch the kids. You could just say, "Hey, I'm leaving. Like I'm getting on a plane tomorrow," and so they knew. But other than that, no. Like lips sealed, and if you haven't guessed already, I'm a chatterbox through and through. So that was really, really hard for me.
I can't imagine how hard that would be to keep that secret.
No kidding. So what did you tell people about your absence? Because you were gone for a number of weeks. So
Yes.
where did you go for a month?
So I had to like think of something. Like back when I worked at one of our local bakeries, we did like a trip out to IBIE, which is an international baking conference in Vegas. So I just kept telling people that, oh, I had an opportunity to go out to the West Coast and take some classes, like elevate some skills. So that's what I told people, that I was going to be gone for a few weeks, without really saying who, what, where, when. And it was believed for the most part. So
Technically, you didn't even lie. You were out west, and you were immersed in baking lessons.
I was learning every day how to survive.
Learning on the fly.
Yeah.
I really give you a lot of kudos for taking that on because I mean, you know, Christina and I have been trying to get on the Great Canadian Baking Show for a number of years now.
How
But
long have you been on? How?
like that, you know, that's our question.
You're just not the right fit for the current, for the season, right? So maybe
we
one
give
day.
Keep
casting,
applying.
we give casting a lot of credit because every single season has been perfectly tailored. Like the cast, it meshes so well. And so that now we're kind of like, all right, I can give some grace, but we still have a lot of hope. But that show is like you have a signature bake and a showstopper bake every single week. You get the brief for at least half the season before you're even over there filming, you know, and there's only one bake every week that you get as a surprise, the technical bake. And so that I'm like, I like the idea of the technical bake because, you know, you have a certain time limit and you don't know what you're doing, but I cannot imagine having to do that for every single bake. And so the idea of going on a show like the show that you were on is terrifying to me. So
Terrifying. It still is to me. So
okay. I mean, you just took your chance, right? You were like, I'm going to do this because when I'm going to have the opportunity. That makes
no,
sense.
it's exactly that. Like there were so many reasons not to do it. I'm not gonna lie and be like, it was inconvenient for my schedule. I'm like, do I even know that many recipes? Like, can I even work that fast? Like I know I work fast in my home where I know where everything is, where
Yes.
like what needs to be washed, what doesn't need to be washed, like all that stuff. Like there's just so many components. And then at the end of the day, I just kept telling myself, and like my dad kept saying it too, like, go for it. Why are you even thinking about any of that? Just go for it. Like even if you go in there and you're like, hi, my name's Natasha, bake nothing. You got to say, hi, my name's Natasha on national television.
I love your dad.
I love your dad too.
He's awesome.
That's
He's a really
awesome.
awesome dude.
And you
What
got to meet
amazing
some pretty cool
advice.
judges and,
Yeah.
you know, pretty cool other contestants and all that. So, but
Oh my God.
you
As
went all the
a
way.
baker, to meet Duff and Carl and Nancy, of course, who doesn't love Nancy? But I grew up, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the baking competitions back in the 2000s with like Bronwyn Weber. Duff would be on there with Ace of Cakes and his show.
Yes.
Like, I watched them all. I've seen every episode, love it. And like the fact that he's also from like the Cape area. He was from Sandwich, which is really cool. I'm like, oh my God, I get to meet Duff Goldman. Like, even if
Yeah.
I trip, fall, they have to like medic me out. I made it to say hello to Duff. And that's it.
Oh, that would be a
Oh.
nightmare.
And I, well, you know, but still, right? Like your dad would say, you got a chance to meet him either way.
Still
Even
got
if
a
you
chance
did
to
fall on your face at Q, you would be memorable.
I was just going to say that. It would be something he would never forget.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like, oh,
Right?
you remember that girl who was from the Cape who fell flat on her ass?
I mean, now I definitely remember her. Oh my God, only me.
You didn't do that. You
No.
didn't. And
No,
we're
they
not
did
wishing
it.
for that to
Not
ever
that it-
happen.
Not that it made it on TV edits, so you're good.
Right,
You're
right.
good.
I'll keep my lips sealed. That was actually, speaking of fears, that was probably my greatest fear is I'm such a klutz. Like I say the silliest things, like trip everywhere. How do I bake? I don't know. I'm like, I'm gonna be the one that's like, I need a medic, Band-Aid, like something, help me. And it didn't happen. Like, thank God.
Yeah, no, you
Thank
did
God.
such a great job. You should
Mhm.
be very, very proud of what you
Thank
did, what you
you.
accomplished.
Thank you.
And even like you're saying, like your dad would say, just having the courage to do it in the first place is
Mhm.
that's an accomplishment. And yes.
Yeah. And
It's a
then
dream.
also finding all the joy and the fun of those moments as well. I mean, I'm sure when you were fully immersed in it, some days you were like, oh, but you know, I think, you know, what I saw on the screen watching you is it looked like you were, for the most part, having such a blast being there and enjoying and taking it all in, which I think, again, probably is one of the reasons why, you know, we saw you through the entire run of the series as well. And you made it right to the finale because you could see that joy in your face as you were baking. Like you were really, truly in your element.
You know, honestly, it's like a kid in a candy store. Like all I could think of is like I get to use the pantry, I get to use all this like equipment, the machines, like my own little station. Like it literally is a dream. And for years, I always said like one day when I feel like I'm good enough, I'll apply for one of those shows. And the fact that they found me is remarkable in itself. But that I even made it through the audition is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And let's talk about that pantry because it does look like a candy store with like all the ingredients and everything, all the tools, all the little gadgets, everything. Could that be overwhelming too in trying, like you said, trying to make those decisions and, you know, figure out what you're going to do, and you've got like all of this stuff to choose from. Did that make it easier or more difficult to actually focus in on what you wanted to do?
More I don't know. I definitely think more difficult because I'm the person that overreads any situation. Well, I overthink. I'm indecisive. So I would see certain things like glucose that I never use glucose. Like even though it's a simple, like it's pretty much corn syrup, or whatever. Like I don't use that. And like inverted sugars and all. I'm like, is that there because I'm supposed to be using it? Like so then I would look at things and I'm like, oh my god, why are there different types of cinnamon or this or that? Like, are they gonna judge me if I grab the wrong one? Like, stupid things like that. Like I would just get in my head. But also, as big as it is, I felt limited sometimes too. Because I'm used to excuse me, using a certain ingredient or a certain brand per se, or all those things play a role. Like you guys know, like not every brand is the same. So I kind of had to guess and think on the fly for certain things that weren't exactly what I use at home. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. And were there, because like you said, the equipment, you've got, blast chillers, you've got
dough
dough
sheeter.
sheeters, you've got ice cream machines, you've got like all of the cool stuff. Was there anything that you really wanted to try that you didn't get a chance to do? Or, would you?
The ice cream machine. I mean, who didn't want to use that? But it was broken literally the entire time we were there. And I think they didn't really want us using that too much
Oh,
either.
right.
But
Steven mentioned
Oh,
that
that's right,
because he
too.
wanted
Yeah,
to make ice
yeah.
cream for something. Yeah.
That, and I have taken classes on how to use ice malt and to stretch and to kind of pull sugar. I just never found the right timing or the right confidence to ask for it because they had it. Never did that. But the blast chillers, I was like super excited. Like I've worked in industrial kitchens where we have blast chillers, but being able to use that for goods is a whole other story. Like I'm not cooling down chicken. I'm actually getting to cool down a cake that needs to be used in like 10 minutes. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Ah,
And
that
is
is
that
really
how quick that you would be able to cool your cake down? Like 10 minutes?
oh yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
probably less too. Like if you wanted like the big cake I made in the beginning, the like foresty woodland
Mm,
stump. Like it was
yes.
huge. I don't know what we had to do a certain size diameter. Why I did 4 layers, I don't know. And they were thick, but the blast chiller cooled it down probably in like 10, little less than 10 minutes, which is really
Wow.
cool.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
cool. My
Mm.
Yeah,
husband
huge
keeps saying
difference
he's
as
going to build
opposed
me.
to waiting.
No kidding. My husband keeps saying he's going to build me my own blast chiller. He's got it all in his mind how
Oh,
it needs to work, and I'm like, okay,
yes.
that'll be good. It
Please
won't
do.
help me prepare
Then
for
when
the
he's
Great
done,
Canadian
send them
Baking
my
Show.
way.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
kidding.
no kidding.
Like, you
Feel
want to go on
free,
a little
please.
vacation? But the Great Canadian Baking Show doesn't have a blast chiller, so I need to prepare with what I know I'm going to have because that's the show I'm aiming to get on. So
Right, right. It's different. Like, yeah, and it's feel like I don't have a blast chiller at home, so I was already used to using, my fridge or freezer, at least the freezer for so much.
yeah,
But overnight, I'm not looking at, a half hour, 10 minutes. It's usually overnight, and then I'm like, okay, great, let's use this and that.
exactly.
Well, yeah. And I guess that is the huge difference as well. When you bake a cake in your own home, like you're staging it out, right? You're baking your layers, you're making your fillings. There's more than enough time that passes to make sure everything's chilled properly, etc. And then you're putting it together and doing, all of that stuff, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
what a difference when you have an hour and a half to put a full like 4-layer cake together.
And it sounds like a lot of time maybe to someone who doesn't like do it all the time, but we know, like us bakers know, an hour and a half is nothing. An hour and a half is like making the cake, like baking the actual layers, not
Yeah.
doing the whole thing from beginning to end. Like it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially all these intricately decorated cakes,
Yeah. And now make it super pretty and different and tall and
And nothing
Yeah.
can be sliding.
right. Nothing can be. Well, I don't know if you remember, but the episode where Jonathan was doing his cake and he ended up using the trifle dish to like.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So I was next to him making a cake as well, but he was a little bit ahead of me, and I'm like, oh no, mine's gonna melt too. Mine's gonna melt. Like I felt so bad for him, and we were using the same freezer, so I didn't want to open it more than I needed to, and it was just I felt so terrible. And I'm so blessed that it worked out, like cooled down.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, Thank
So
God.
stressful.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
So how has your life changed since the show aired, if at all?
Oh my gosh. It's definitely changed. We are definitely really busy, which I'm so grateful for. I mean, this is, also
Yay.
how we have an income for my family, so I'm grateful for that. But I still go out like in town or to the local store and people will be like, "Where are you?" And now I know, like I can see the wheels turning. I'm like, "Yeah, I was on the," like I try to say it in a nice way, like modestly. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
it's a
I was on
weird
that
feeling,
baking
hey?
show." Yeah. So it's
That's
really
so
cool that people
cool.
notice me. Yeah, it's nice. Like I'm not one for like, I'm not a fame enthused person. Like I just want to share what I love to do and watch people enjoy what I make because that's the joy of it all. But it's cool to like meet people and so many people that have come out and been like, we loved watching you. Like you were so relatable. Would you meet my like daughter who loves to watch the show? A lot of kids, a lot of parents of kids reach out to me, which is so cool. Like I was that little girl who like watched all these people and was like, oh, to like bake side by side with them and to meet them or just to even talk with them. And then not that I'm at that level, but to be something similar to someone else is completely just
Well,
unreal.
you
Really.
are. You're an inspiration to the next generation. Like literally, and you're seeing the evidence of that right in front of your face when they're bringing their kids up to you and the kids are like, "Oh, it's
Right.
Natasha from the baking championship." Like that's
It's
amazing.
weird. Like we joke about it because like we were out recently for dinner and someone asked for a selfie. And I was like, a selfie, like, I'm your neighbor, like, you don't need a selfie with me. You can come by to my house anytime. It's cute.
Aw.
Did you
It's
do it
really
anyway?
Yeah, I did. I mean, if people want it, I'll gladly do it, but it's just really funny. Like, it's happened quite a few times.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
That's so cute.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And like Lisa said, I think
Yeah.
the fact that you get to inspire that next batch of bakers that will one day be on a show, maybe, or start their own baking business like you have. I mean, I think that's so cool to have you as that mentor or that someone that they can look up to and go, and you're like, especially local, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's the coolest part is a lot of local like partnership has happened too with other businesses more so than before. Like I already was like part of the community, but now it's definitely helped reach even further.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of people too who are like, we're scared to say it or be like, I love to bake, like I make for family and friends, but how did you start or where do I start? And I like being able to offer tips or help and just tell them like, don't be scared, like do it. If someone is telling you they're gonna pay for what you create for your art, it's art. I don't care what anyone else says. It is art on a plate. Take it, run with it. Don't be modest about it. Like own your craft and own what you do and share it with people. If someone wants to share what you do with their family, that's the greatest gift. I mean,
Mhm.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
so true. So
Aw.
true.
Yeah.
So
And and even if you're scared, do it anyway.
exactly.
Do it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're gonna make mistakes. It's not always gonna be perfect. I've had complaints. It happens to everybody. But if you learn from it and you grow and you get better and better, what more could you ask for? Like that's what it's all about. So
Absolutely. Good
Yeah.
life lesson in general, not just about baking, but how to do
Yeah.
life in general.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So if you had an opportunity to get onto another baking show, would you do it? And
In a heartbeat.
There was no hesitation there.
No hesitation.
and is there a specific show that you're eyeing that you would love to be on?
Ooh.
I don't know. There's not a specific show, but like we talk about this a lot in my house. Like, would you do it again? And like, yes. Like, especially now that I know what to look for and what to anticipate and actually like participating in a show, I would definitely do it. I don't know. I don't even really know like what other baking shows like there are. Like, I don't know. I'd have to think about it further, but I definitely would do it again. Yeah.
Nice.
Does your husband bake well with you?
Ooh, I wish he was here for this one. We are a great team. So no, I joke.
So-
We are a great team together.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Sorry.
thinking, right, Cristina?
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah. We're thinking Crime Scene Kitchen would be a good one for you.
Oh yeah, Crime Scene Kitchen. Yeah. I feel like we would do well together if we applied for something together.
Yeah.
I've often thought about applying for Chopped with him, and doing
Oh,
something
so
more
fun.
savory.
Yes.
We work well. we know how to like get things done. We're both like driven the same way, where if there is a task and this is a time frame it needs to get done and this what has to happen, we don't care what has to happen in between the beginning and the end, it's going to happen. Like we'll never not put something up. So
Nice.
yeah, and I love working with him. We've worked with each other professionally before too, so I feel like that's a plus. Yeah.
That's
no
definitely
kidding.
a plus. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we hope to see you on something again soon. So, because
Maybe one day, we hope.
We'll just
In the
throw that
meantime-
out there.
yeah, in the meantime, we will keep watching your Instagram page and seeing all the beautiful things that you do there and sharing
Thank
your beautiful art with the world.
You know what time it
Likewise
is?
with you ladies. You both are so talented. Like I
Oh.
love that I've gotten to meet so many people and people I never would have connected with before. So it's
Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you.
pretty cool community to be part of, and it's such a welcoming one, and people are just so gracious in sharing and accepting and cheering on, and I just
Yeah.
it's so special.
It really is.
agreed.
Okay, do you know what time it is? It's time to play a game.
Oh yeah, I love games.
Hey,
Perfect.
we are going to play this or that. And Christina, you can
That's
fill in the
right.
theme music.
Yeah. You want me to do the music? You know,
Yes.
it's still fairly early out here, right? I don't know that people's ears are quite ready to hear me
We
do a
don't
little
have
ditty.
theme music
Sing a
yet.
little ditty.
I love it. Christina used to do this little dee 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 dee.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
I love that.
Anyway, okay, so this or that's pretty simple. We throw a couple options at you and you say the first thing that comes to your mind. And sometimes
right.
it leads to more discussion, sometimes it leads to rabbit trails, and sometimes we just move on to the next one.
All right, let's go for it.
All right.
All right.
First question. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee. Zero hesitation, zero questions. Coffee through and through.
Coffee.
That was easy.
How do you enjoy your coffee?
It depends on my mood. I'll drink it black all the way to like a flavored iced coffee, but usually it's with a little bit of skim milk and a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
That sounds good. Yeah, tasty.
Not
I like coffee.
never go wrong with some coffee.
Do you like desserts that are
never.
coffee flavored as well?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tiramisu. I mean, anything. It's coffee ice cream inside coffee.
Mm.
Nice little
Ooh.
affogato. Yeah, that's the way to go.
That's
Nice.
good.
And you get the warm and the cold.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the creamy and the okay.
Oh, I love that. I get that from my dad actually. He used to do that all the time. Like if we sat down like Sunday dinners and we'd have dessert, he'd always ask my mom, like, hey, do we have a little ice cream? And he'd put a scoop in his coffee.
Nice. I love it.
I remember my mom doing that too, pouring coffee over her ice cream. She didn't drink coffee usually, but she loved it over ice cream like that. So delicious.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice. All right.
Very nice.
The next one, buttercream or fondant?
Buttercream. I mean, you can't go wrong with buttercream. Flavor all day long. It can taste good. I mean, if I make my own fondant, it does taste good to me. I mean, not everyone likes that texture. But as far as working with, I love the versatility of buttercream and the challenge. Because everyone thinks you can only ice a cake, but you can do so much more with buttercream. So much more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would be
Yeah.
hard to make a Lambeth cake with fondant.
Yeah, it'd be really difficult.
Yeah.
You can do it. I think I've seen it done.
Yeah.
You
If you
use
have
the
the
mold.
mats. Yeah, I was gonna say like the silicone molds and stuff, and then
That feels like cheating.
I know. I used to
Is
think
it
that all the
though?
time too, but it's
I
not because
don't
you have to know how to work a mold too. No, it's
Okay.
yeah,
I'll give
I
you
don't think
that.
I don't think it's cheating. I think it's like, especially if you have somebody who just wants that fondant cake.
You're the only
Yeah.
person that I know that actually has someone in their life that wants a fully fondant cake. Like the more fondant, the better. And I
My
don't-
great niece loves fondant. Loves fondant. I'm like, really?
Oh, my
Really?
mom loves it too, which is ironic because my mom, like, she's classic French. She grew up in France. She knows pastry. She knows all that stuff. And like the fact that she loves fondant amazes me. I'm like, you hate cake, but you like fondant. Explain to me how that makes sense.
So she'd be,
Like,
well,
what?
that would be a perfect person to have though, because you
Yeah.
could peel off your fondant, give it to your mom, and then you could just eat the cake.
Like, it tastes like marshmallow. And I'm like, you know what? If it makes you happy, she's the pickiest person when it comes to food because she knows good quality. But she's rarely wrong. So I got to give it to her. If it tastes good,
I
I
mean,
trust her.
Yeah.
If she's
And
just
so,
eating your fondant, then that makes more sense than if she's eating like stuff out of a can or,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
container.
packaged, yeah, pre-done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And do you have a favorite buttercream that you love to work with?
Swiss meringue. That's what we're known
Yeah.
for. We use the Swiss method. And then I like to bake with a heavy-handed salt. So everything I do has a nice little salty aftertaste.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah,
Nice.
I love that. Yeah.
Salt is so
Salt
good.
just balances things out. It's funny because when I first started baking, I didn't really add salt like when I was younger, right? Because I thought it was counterintuitive to put salt in a sweet bake. And then as I
Right.
started learning a little bit more, I'm like, it balances out the flavor and it tones down that sweetness and it brings out all the other flavors. And yeah, I'm with you. I'm like,
Yeah.
People ask all the time, like, why does this taste different for like various desserts and cakes? I'm like, if your recipe is telling you a half a teaspoon salt, 3/4 at least, like bump it up. Like it's definitely gonna make a huge difference. Yeah.
And you can use the salted butter and still put more salt in there. It'll be all.
Yes. Oh, I hate when people like freak out. Oh no, I bought salted butter. I'm like, good, perfect. Get some more because that's what you want to use. Like, that's the way to do it.
yeah, yeah, same.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Carrot cake or
Mm.
chocolate cake?
It's hard, ladies. That's
You didn't say
hard.
this game was going to be easy, Natasha.
Why? Why would you do? It's like choosing children. Like I don't know what to do right now. I'm
Your
gonna
daughter
say
or
carrot
your
cake.
son?
Yeah, right. Sophie's choice right now would be a baby.
Don't answer that question.
I'm not. One day when they're older, they'll listen and watch. I'm gonna say carrot cake because my husband loves carrot cake. I love carrot cake, and I also have a weird love with carrot cake because it took me years to like curate the recipe that I have, and it's perfect. I never use the word perfect, but for me, it's perfect for my taste, and I'll never change it. So carrot
I
cake.
know what question's coming next from Cristina.
So why don't you answer or ask it, Lisa?
And do you like nuts in your carrot cake?
Nuts for sure. I put pecans. I'm not a walnut in the carrot cake girl. Pecans just go perfectly. Yes, they're toasted in case Duff is ever listening and asks.
Yes. Always toast your nuts.
Always toasted nuts. Do you add anything else in it or
Here
just
comes the next question.
just the toasted pecans? Do you do like
Pineapple.
pineapple or coconut or raisins? Do you throw it all in? Is it like a kitchen sink carrot cake or is it like a, aside from the nuts?
It's open the cupboard. No, I'm just kidding. It's open the cupboard, put it all in. No, pineapple. Pineapple is like it's not really a secret, but that's my secret shtick to it is pineapple for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Christina's judging face is coming out.
Nope, no judgment. No
You don't do
judgment.
pineapple?
She's a carrot cake purist.
So
Just carrots.
raisins? Just carrots? Nothing else?
Just carrots. Yeah. And then I'll add in fillings. Then I'll add
spices, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, spices and carrots, but I don't add any like nuts or raisins or pineapple or anything else in there. It's just carrots. Lots of carrots, freshly grated. And then I amplify the cake or I elevate the cake with like the fillings. So caramel, toasted nuts. I'll put the extra stuff in the fillings instead of in the cake itself.
I respect that. I respect that a lot. I think simplicity is well said in baking. Makes a difference. Sometimes you can just add too many of things or ingredients or flavors, and I respect it.
Yeah. And I respect how you do yours as well, right? Because everybody has their signature way of doing, especially carrot cake. People are very particular about what, the recipe that works for them.
Very particular for carrot. It's funny because when people order a carrot cake, it's never just, I want to get the carrot cake. There's usually a message or another question saying, how do you make your carrot cake? Because there's so many ways to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Definitely.
good. But yeah, a classic. I love carrot cake too. It's one of my faves.
Delicious.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Sweet or savory bakes?
Savory. I know it's gonna shock everybody, but I'm a savory baker. I enjoy savory more than I enjoy sweet.
Mhm.
I just
We're
I
in
don't
the
know. The
club.
market calls what it calls for, but I love savory bake. I think it's just more complex. There's so much more you can do. You can make a savory bake sweet. You can make a savory bake true savory. So I don't know, savory.
Do you have a
Nice.
favorite?
Favorites? I don't know. There's just so many things. I mean, I love any kind of like savory tart or quiche or
Mm,
like a breakfast. I think of breakfast whenever I think savory bake.
yeah.
And it's just, I love getting savory for breakfast, and whether it's a potato leek tart or
Oh,
a really good quiche Lorraine, like simple, classic, but a really good one.
Mhm.
Crusts, I always think of crusts, I think of savory baking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Nice.
Yeah, we love
Nice.
savory, definitely.
Mhm.
That would
Yeah.
always be my choice. I'm like,
Same.
give me savory over sweet any day. I will create the sweet stuff for other people, and then I want to eat the savory.
Yeah.
One thing we do for the holidays that is always like a must is like a brie en croûte, but like then I can have the sweet on the side with it. So everyone's happy. Like there's the savory if you just want the savory, you get the sweet if you want the sweet. Like that's another one that I love.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
Oh,
so good with the crunchiness and then like the creaminess of the brie just perfectly
Goose.
melted.
Mhm.
oh, Teresa.
Okay, I'm hungry again.
I
Yeah,
know.
right?
I always get
What
hungry
time
with
is
these dang podcasts. All right, next question is baking on TV or baking in your own kitchen? Which is hard because now you're getting used to a new kitchen.
Mhm.
But
Getting used to a new kitchen, baking in my own kitchen, mostly because now that we've moved, I have the chance to create like a cake studio. So I can't wait to share it when it's fully done. But I've
that's
got to
awesome.
make things how I want it. Yeah. So I have like a baking room with another oven, a couple of
Oh,
fridges, a freezer. Yeah. The dream is like finally happening. It feels so good. A baker's rack, which is
Wow,
like
oh,
unheard
nice.
of in homes. Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
have
So
a
I'm
baker's
excited.
rack when I didn't bake anything because that was what was fashionable in the 90s. But but I would like one now.
Really?
Yeah.
You should get one.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
I
know.
didn't have the space. In our
Yeah,
old
and we're
kitchen, I would
moving
have
to a
gotten one, but we
smaller
just did
kitchen,
not
so
have it.
so
Yeah.
cool.
But
I
yeah,
can't wait
it's
to
hard.
see it. Yeah.
We cannot wait to see your new kitchen, your new cake
I
room.
was,
That is
yes.
awesome.
So excited
Yeah,
for you.
super
Very
excited
cool.
about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Nice.
you will like to bake in your own kitchen because you're more in control of the space, you know where everything is.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
know the climate, I know
pressured.
the space, I know where things are. Like, I think climate is a huge one, especially because I make a lot of macarons. Like,
Mhm.
making macarons anywhere but your space that you're used to is just a whole nother thing, you know? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely because I'm comfortable with everything I have.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. And especially like you said, the macarons, like I used to
Mhm.
make French method macarons when I lived in a different city. And then the
Mhm.
weather was a lot drier. So French macarons always like I had my recipe that I had crafted and it worked out perfectly. And then we moved to a more humid area. And then my French
Yeah.
macarons never worked out. So I switched over to Italian method. And now that's my go-to method and it works for me here, but just crazy.
It's funny that you say that. So that's what I'm going through right now because the home is different. The humidity level is definitely like 30 to 40% more than where we used to live. We moved a mile down the road, by the way, so it's really not that different. But the house itself is different. But you know, the structure and everything. So I'm definitely, we still make them, of course, but I haven't like full force on them yet because I'm picky about the way they're coming out. They're
Mhm.
still edible, they still look great, but they're not to my standards. So we might have to vary a different method because I'm a French
Yeah.
method girl. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
love, yeah. You can never go. Yeah. I love,
You can never go wrong with what you went wrong with. You're gonna say
it wasn't us. It's not us.
it's not you. No.
It's not us.
Not me.
It's humidity. It's the environment.
Yes.
Definitely.
Different equipment, different ovens, like it's all different. So it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
Definitely.
sense.
All right.
All right. Early morning bakes or late night? When do you prefer to do your baking?
Um, in the situation I'm in, it's late night. If I had my dream, it's early morning. So late night because I have kids, you know? The
Yeah.
kids wake up at like 5 a.m. every day. there's no in between. So there are nights, especially for busy weekends, where I'm baking till 3 o'clock, 3:30, and then I love the kids at 5. So it's just
Oh,
like I have to do that because they're asleep. I know they're gonna stay asleep, and I can focus on what I'm doing. It doesn't happen as often now because they're in school full time. But yeah, definitely late night baking. If the house is quiet, I have my peace. No one's looking for snacks or drinks or breakfast. So yeah, late night.
so is that your self-care baking, or do you do anything to have some alone time? That's not just what you do for work.
That's my alone time. It's me and my mixer, and but I love it. As there's nights where I complain, but there's nights that I love it. It's just I don't know. It's just a serene situation. Like even though it's chaotic, to get so much done, it's just you and what you know how to do. So I don't mind it.
Do you listen to
something special
anything?
about that.
Like, do you have headphones in and listen to music or podcasts or something like that while you're baking?
Oh yeah. Podcasts. I listen to you ladies. I
Nice.
definitely watch shows all the time. I'll listen to shows mostly. Like if fall comes around, I'm a Gilmore Girls through and through. So I watch it probably twice every fall because I'm up that much.
It's addictive, that
I
show.
can recite to you. The
Yes,
Office,
that is-
that's another one that I love to listen to.
Nice.
Office
So,
is a good one
yeah.
for
Fun.
sure. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when something that you can just have in the background that's familiar and comforting to you, that you don't feel like you have to
Yeah.
keep your eyes on. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be something that I'm invested or that's new, like, because then I'm just gonna stop what I'm doing. But no, definitely always have something going on. Or if it's a documentary, I'll listen.
Yeah.
A lot of time people are like, "Oh, did you see it?" I'm like, "Yep, saw it or heard it rather. I heard it."
Yeah. And that happens when you're taking care of kids too. Like you often just have something on in the background for company. It's
Totally.
adult company,
Yeah,
sort of in a way.
I grew into that habit. I always loved TV and just having that noise, but especially with kids, like even if there's no one home, I have to have something. I like the noise of someone there.
Yeah.
Do you find sometimes that when you're by yourself and the kids aren't there and you're flicking through channels and you're like, oh, Bluey's on, and then you're like, wait, I don't have to watch Bluey.
It's it's worse. It's like I literally want to watch certain shows and the kids don't. I'm like, guys, SpongeBob is great. I promise you're gonna love it. Like, let's sit down for 5 minutes, or let's watch Moana again. And they're like, no, I want to watch whatever show for the 10,000th time that I could probably recite everything to
Yeah.
you.
Oh man.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
when my kids were young, it was Barney and the Teletubbies. Ugh. Oh, both of them were so bad.
Oh.
I just could
I'm
not
a Barney
handle it.
kid.
Oh no. We liked others, like I loved like Bear in the Big Blue House, and there were
Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues was fantastic. So,
Yeah.
you try to steer them in the direction of the ones that you actually are interested in watching. Magic
Zaboomafoo?
School Bus is always a good one too.
Oh, Magic School Bus. Yes.
Yes, I tried getting the kids into that, and no. And Bluey, like everyone loves Bluey. My kids are just they'll watch a little bit and then walk away. I'm like, who are you? Why? Like,
Yeah.
what kid doesn't love Bluey?
We love Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, yes, Boy Genius.
Yes.
Jimmy
Such a
Neutron,
great
boy,
show.
yes, it
And then
was a good one.
Zaboomafoo.
Zaboomafoo,
With
the
the
Crab
Crab Brothers.
Oh my gosh.
Good one.
Oh, good. So good.
Oh, this walk down memory lane.
Yes.
Love it.
It's nice that my kids are adults now and they have that same nostalgia about those shows that I do. So it's good. I'm like, oh good, you like the same ones. Haven't asked them about Barney or Teletubbies, so I don't know. I hope they
Maybe
don't.
trauma ridden. You never know.
Exactly. All right, where are we here? Classic flavors or creative twists?
Creative twists. I feel like I'm always trying to take something classic and do something creative with it. Because you want to stand out and like offer something different, and I always like to try new things.
Yeah.
And a lot of it doesn't make it to the screen for good reason because they're fails. But
So give us an example of a creative twist that worked and an example of a creative twist that did not work.
you twist that word. Now you're putting me on the spot.
Sorry. That's the whole point of this or that.
I know. Creative twist that worked. I mean, I guess it's not a huge creative twist, but like using matcha. I never really used matcha. So I used it in like a cake once, and it actually worked out nice. I paired it with white chocolate, which in my head, I'm like, I don't know what else to pair it with because white chocolate is the only thing that'll tone it down a little.
Yeah.
So that was pleasant. And that was just like a family, I think I made that for New Year's Eve. It was like a family bake. One that didn't work. Lavender. I used lavender in something. It was an added ingredient. I can't remember what it was. All I remember is that I had this huge bag of lavender left over, and my husband was like, "What are we doing with this?" And it needs to never come to our house again. He was like, "It's definitely not a success." Because like other than pairing it with like, light flavors like a tea or a sponge cake or I forget what I tried. Oh, it was a pastry. I think I tried infusing it in like a butter for a pastry. So like sometimes people will do like infused butters for croissants and things like that, and it was for a puff, and it just like it was so perfumey because I knew I had to like really add it in there to like get that flavor, and then I was like, no, this is not meant to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not meant to be real.
That's a hard one because lavender is such a delicate taste, but yeah, so easy to go overboard with it.
Yeah, it's like rose, like same thing. Like you really have to use it light-handedly, but if you don't use it enough, you'll never know it's there. So I veer away from that. Yeah.
It's really finding that perfect balance, right?
Right.
Definitely. Right. Yeah. Next question.
Baking for customers or baking for fun?
Baking for customers. I want to say baking for fun because I love to be creative, but there is nothing more satisfying than someone enjoying what you made. And like my family's not gonna tell me like this is disgusting. Sometimes they'll be like, no, this didn't work, but they're never gonna like be that critical. Customers will. If a customer really doesn't like something, they will tell you because they're paying for it, which and rightfully so. It's not cheap. So knock on wood, that hasn't happened to me. So let's hope it doesn't. But I love just like seeing people happy and like getting pictures of kids for first birthday parties, and that's the best. And it's like it gets my baby gears going. My husband's like, don't even think about it. I'm like, but just one more. I love seeing pictures of customers. It's cute.
I don't like it when I mean, it must be weird different for the porch pickup because people just come and take stuff and pay for it and you don't really know who's getting, but when you're baking custom orders and stuff, I hate it when there's like radio silence afterward. And you're just like,
you're nervous. You're just like, what? But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, when I get things, I don't always tell the person anything afterwards. And then months after, I'll see another order come through from the same person. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
exactly.
Yes, definitely. I did a gender reveal cake, my first gender reveal cake over this past weekend, and I was just like waiting I wanted to see a video. I wanted to, just hear how it turned out, and nothing. And I was like, was everything okay?
Yeah.
And it was dairy free too, so yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was dairy free, so I was really worried that the frosting was going to be too soft and that somehow the filling would come out and the surprise would be ruined. So I'm just like, did it make it there okay? Everything good? Yep, fine. Okay, fine, just fine.
No worries.
I have to let go of that. I need more customers, I guess, so that it can like diffuse over more people.
It'll always be there. And my husband, like, he constantly reminds me, he's like, listen, the bigger you get and the more customers we serve, you're not going to hear back from everyone. And then it's always, no news is good news. And it's so true. I don't hear
that's a good reminder.
I don't hear it because then I knew everything was good.
That's good.
So.
Yeah. We don't need to cry over people who are buying our stuff.
No,
Well, and I
no.
think like you said, Natasha, it's not like you provide feedback to everything that you buy. Like when you go out for a meal at a restaurant, and even if you get a fabulous meal and great service, you're like, oh, this is great. And you reflect it in the tip, but then you're not going back and sending them another, unless it's like super crazy exceptional and they went way above and beyond. But for the most part, you're like, oh, that was great. And you may or may not do a Google review, but generally most of us don't, right? So
Yeah. Honestly, it's so, I think now that I have a business, I definitely do it way more than ever before, is like taking the time, especially for other small businesses, because I see the difference that it makes. Like the first place I go is Google reviews, Yelp reviews, or whatever review section, and I read thoroughly. Like I'm an Amazon psycho. I can't even tell you. I'll read every review that was negative and good to make sure I'm making the right purchase. So it's important. I try to do it way more now too. It means a lot. But yeah, not everyone's gonna do that. So
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Definitely. Okay. Croatian roots or American comforts?
Croatian roots.
Let's go back.
I'm grateful to be American, born here. Oh well, we're gonna keep politics out of this, but right now it's really sketchy time, our land of mischief. But no, definitely
We love our American friends.
Well, good. I'm glad, because right now I'm not giving the best impression. I love being Korean. It's where my whole family's from. I think it's something special. It's where my parents met. It's where like everything, about who we are, who I am came from. So we're planning our first trip with the kiddos, hopefully next year. We would go this summer, but with the move, it just took a lot. It's just expensive to go. We don't have to worry about where to stay or anything, but traveling, A, is expensive. B, right now, I just don't feel comfortable going anywhere. I definitely love where we come from. My family came from making olive oil, cheeses, working the markets. It's funny, like my grandmother, she's actually there right now. She lives half the year there. My other grandparents live there full time. And she came to a market with me recently. And it was really full circle. As a little girl, she grew up selling at markets. So she was like 6, 7 years old. My great grandparents would send her with baskets on her head to go and sell and be home by a certain hour, make sure she didn't lose the money. And now she came with me to a market. Okay, totally modernized and not the same thing, but get what I'm saying. It was a full circle and fry generationally to like experience that together. So pretty cool.
Oh, I love
How
that.
special.
Yeah, really special. She's super sweet. Anytime, but she's in the States, which is usually like around the holidays, like from September on. She'll help me any way she can for markets and events. She'll stay up and package stuff with me. I mean, she's 84 and she will stay up and just work with me. It's really cool. So
That's lovely. Till 3 a.m.
not till 3 a.m. I have to yell at her to go to bed. She's like, I'm not going to bed until you go to bed. She's like, sweetheart, in Croatian, sweetheart, you can't keep doing this. You have to go to bed. I'm like, Baba, which is what we call grandmother. I'm like, go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. We'll pack up the car and we'll go. So, yeah, she's
That's
sweet.
so sweet to be able
It's
to.
so nice you have relationship with her.
Yeah, and to make those memories with her as well, and to come, like you said, full circle on,
So full circle.
yeah. So really what you're doing has been in your blood and really fully entrenched in your blood for forever.
I guess it's
generations.
funny. We joke about it all the time because like I can do the selling part, but like as far as gardening and green thumbing, that's how my family came from peasantry. That's what they did, is grew stuff and sold it. No, I kill everything. My husband's good at growing stuff, but give it to me. I'll sell it like all day long.
But don't ask me to take care of it. Yeah.
No,
I have to take care of it.
That's awesome.
you and me both. You and me
Good.
both.
Good.
Yeah, I have a
And me.
brown thumb.
Yeah.
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 Not allowed to have plants, real ones, just fake ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of fake ones here. Don't you worry.
Oh, they're so lovely. It's very nice not to have to think about them. Just
All
dust
right.
them every once in a while.
Brings us to our last this or that question. Raisins in baking. Is that a yes or a no-go for you?
Oh, it's a yes. It's definitely a yes. But it has to be golden raisins. I'm
Mhm.
not a regular raisin girl. And I think are they called Jerusalem raisins? The ones that are super plump and big. Like you'll find them a lot in like babkas and stuff. Those are so good. They're so sweet. But yeah, I love raisins. Like I'll never frown. There's not much I won't eat. I'll never frown to a raisin in baking. Like I know there are people who say like oatmeal cookies should never have raisins, or carrot cake should never have raisins. Like I'll eat it. I love
Yeah.
it. If they're soaked in rum, even better. Give it to me all day long.
Oh, you knew what I was gonna say. Nicely done.
Yes.
I love it. I was trying to figure out, I've been working on trying to get myself a new Instagram handle, or trying to figure out what to
Yeah.
call my home bakery. And I am struggling. Like I had to put salt in the name. That was one of the things we were talking about earlier because of what salt does in baking. But I was like, should I just say
Yeah.
like brown butter and rum? And I was like, yeah, those are really good things, but I don't want people to think that everything I do has rum in it. Although,
But
rum
why
is
not?
a little bit
All the more
better.
reason to follow you.
Not a horrible thing. Not a horrible thing. And
Not a
brown
Guaranteed
butter.
happiness.
Brown butter, right?
Brown butter.
Mhm, I know.
So good. Oh,
Mhm.
I love your handle name. I think it's cute. I think it's super cute.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know. People are like, no, it sounds like bread. It doesn't sound like cake. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. So anyway,
People don't know anything. Don't listen to them.
I love your handle. Thank you.
Yours is awesome.
Cake
Cake-
batter is so
Cake
perfect.
batter?
Thank you. I was worried that it's too kitschy. So it was actually my husband's idea. And he was like, no, people will love it. But oh man, I have a funny story. So it's Cape Batter. We live in Plymouth, which is like right before the bridge before you get to Cape Cod. And it's like all really South Shore area. We started on the Cape though. And I still kept the name. And one time I did a market and I told the woman where we lived in this town. She's like, well, you're not in Cedarville. I go, oh, okay. She's like, you're not in the Cape, so I don't know why Cape is in your name. And I was like, oh, the next town is Manamet. Like, we're in that borderline between Cedarville and Manamet. She's like, well, you're not in Manamet either. I'm like, woman, where am I from? Tell me, come to my house. Like, where do I live? So I always joke about that because I'm like, I have no home. I'm in whatever town you want me to be.
Right?
That's so
Oh,
funny.
that's-
That's why I'm so concerned about the username, because people are going to judge you. Apparently, they'll
People
come and
always
talk
judge.
to you about it.
You're not going to ever please everybody 100% of the time. So
That is true.
Do what
And
makes you happy. If you like it, that's all that matters.
That is
Right.
true too. Yes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
joy that it shines through no matter what, right? This is this is the hope. So, but yeah, no, I've always loved your username. I think
Mhm.
it's a great, it's
Thank you.
perfect. And for us way over on the west coast of Canada, we don't know anything about your geography, so we're like, yeah, it's perfect.
I love it. Thank you. I know I thought a couple times changing it or dropping the Cape part, but I'm gonna keep it. It's how we started, and I want to keep it wholesome. So
Yeah, and
And
now
I-
that's how they know you. So you
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
really
yeah.
can't change it once you get to be a certain level of famous.
I
Right.
don't know if I'm famous, but
You know
I'll
what I
take
mean?
it.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You get recognized on the streets.
Right?
That
People want to
qualifies
take
as being
selfies
famous.
with you.
In my town, at least.
It
Yeah, they're the
all
ones who do
counts.
that.
It all counts.
They count,
But
they
cake
count.
batter is such a great little play on words too,
Mhm.
right? Cake batter, cake
Yeah.
batter. So that's what I really love about it, and I think it does give you a sense of place as well. Even though to some people it maybe is just outside of the
I
border, but
know.
really,
I know, yeah. Who's looking at like centimeters here and judging and measuring?
right?
Oh,
Right.
for me, it's
Yeah.
great
I love
because
it too.
it always reminds me of where you are, right? Like when you know so many people on Instagram, it's really, really, you can sometimes be like, oh, who's that? That person lives in Alberta, right? Or whatever, and then, but every time I see I always think of where you are. Like I visualize it in my head, even though I can't because I don't really know. But, on a map,
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
oh
a
yeah,
big,
that's right.
it's a big
That's
arm.
where
That's what it
Natasha
is.
Right.
No, it's true. I never thought of it that way. Like, yeah, that gives me more reason to keep it because it's true. I never actually thought of that. But now think of other accounts that I know. I do often go to their page to remind myself, oh, where are they from? Or like, where do I know them from? Are they local? Are they not local? So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Even for
Yeah.
us, are they Canadian or are they American? Or some or
somewhere
elsewhere.
else.
You
You
know.
have it harder, much harder.
Well, now we've got Australian people and British people and all, which is great.
Yeah.
Happy to talk to everybody all over the world. So
Oh, that's what makes you guys special. I love that it's so vast but so small at the same time. So cool.
it's such a family, right? This worldwide
Yeah.
family of bakers. It's really fascinating. So
Yeah. And I don't think there's a lot
Oh, this
of
is
outlets like you all that like bring it together. Like it's I think that's really special about what you guys do. So
Oh,
keep doing
Thank
it.
yeah.
I think we will. We're
I
going to
think
take a
we
little
will.
break. Sorry,
We
we're
have-
going to take a little break for the summer. You're our last podcast for this season.
Oh wow. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, very happy to have you on, and this has been so much fun. But before we go, do you have a little baking scrap that you could share with all of our listeners and watchers?
I almost forgot. Then I really wanted to have a meeting because I'm over, indecisive. I think the one thing about when I bake is I try not to be wasteful, especially as a home baker. I'm always finding like extras of things, and you can only freeze so much, both quality wise and
Mhm.
not everything will freeze.
Yeah.
This is super small and super silly, but whenever I grease a tin or a mold or anything, I always save my butter wrappers and then I use that. So a
Oh,
lot of people just throw them
Great
straight in the trash. Like I just take the butter wrapper that's already room temp and I just use it to smear on everything and anything that I can, and then I throw it away.
that's
Great
actually,
idea.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a very valuable tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that's silly and helpful because I watch other bakers all the time, like whether it's their setup or little things that I take and use myself. I'm like,
Mhm.
what is something that I do that maybe not everyone does? And that's it.
I love it.
I
I had
think
not heard
that's
of that before.
it's actually really smart, it's practical, and environmentally friendly, or speaks
Yeah,
to
kind
just
of.
Less
reducing
waste.
that
Yeah.
waste. Yeah. So
I
very
like
clever.
to get my hands all greasy, so I try to use the back of the wrapper and that's it.
It's brilliant in its simplicity. I mean, those are the kinds of things we want to hear. That's a perfect baking scrap.
Yay, glad I was burned.
Well done.
Yay.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a really awesome way to start the day. I mean, my coffee started to wake me up and then you did the rest. So thank you. That was what I was hoping
Aw,
for.
thank you.
This has been so
I had a lot of fun. You both are overly pleasant and just I love following both of you and the baking scraps, and I will keep on following. And yeah,
Yay!
thank you. Thank you for having me and making me
Well,
worthy of being on your podcast.
oh, are you kidding? Thank you
Thank you.
for giving us the like I said, the privilege has really been all ours to host you today on our podcast, and we're so thrilled that we finally got a chance to connect up and have a conversation. And seriously, you're as sweet as pie, and love what you do, and it's just so wonderful. And yeah, keep doing you, because we love what you do, and Cape Batter is amazing. So for anybody out there who does not follow this wonderful and talented and lovely human being, Natasha, please do so at Cape Batter.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thanks
Thanks again. We look forward to chatting with you again soon.
All right, same. Bye. Have a good one.
You too, Natasha. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. I love her. I love her, love her, love her, love her, love her.
I love her too. She's pretty amazing and
She-
inspiring.
Oh my goodness, isn't she? And she's just so funny and joyful. She really reminds me of our buddy Steven
Yeah, she's a lot like Stephen in the best ways.
in all of the best ways.
We had a
So-
few issues with the recording, a little bit of glitching, but it's because of where she lives, right on the water there. But we can hear everything. So even if the video was a little bit off, which we apologize for, audio listeners shouldn't have any problems with it at all.
Oh,
And
good.
you know what? At least we still get to see her beautiful face.
Yes. Yeah. And find out all about her her wonderful business that she's growing, her
Mhm.
her new cake studio that she's designing and finishing up pretty quickly. Can't wait.
Jealous, jealous.
Yeah, she's dropped a few little sneak peeks on her Instagram
Mhm.
stories of late. So, and if you don't follow Natasha Cape Batter, CAPE Batter,
Mhm.
you need to. She is
Yeah.
just such a bundle of joy and life, and her creations are stunning. So
They're
yeah,
beautiful. Make sure you
yeah.
go over to her page and give her a follow. And thank you all for being here with us for this season,
And yeah,
our second season.
it unbelievable.
Yeah.
Blows my mind how much fun we've had this past
Mhm.
season. So
Yep.
many incredible guests as always. We have so many fantastic ones already lining up for our next season. And of course, we've got Great Canadian Baking Show that's going to be starting up before you know it, which will be really exciting as well. And
Yeah,
then
they've
season
just
9.
wrapped up. They've just wrapped up filming season 9, and
Yes.
oh boy, there's a
And
little
maybe,
FOMO, but now I'm also really looking forward to watching
yeah,
it.
and maybe
Mhm.
an appearance by Pedro Pascal next season.
You know, we can dream, can't we?
We totally can dream. Pedro, if you're watching Baking Scraps.
Why would he be watching Baking Scraps? He's like, I
Hey,
like the Canadian Baking Show, and I like those two girls who talk about
right.
it.
Right? Right.
Maybe, maybe
You
he
never
thinks
know.
we're
Dream
great.
big. A girl can dream, right?
We're dreaming.
We can manifest this.
There's a lot of people dreaming about that right now.
Pedro
So
Pascal is going to watch Baking Scraps.
that's our be all end all, apparently. Well, you know, he's got 2 seasons worth of episodes to watch now. So
Right? Yeah.
he'll fall in love with us, just like the rest of the world has. Best day. Your face was really cute there. That was funny.
Oh, you're hilarious. Well,
So are you.
anyway, everybody have a fabulous summer. Enjoy. Get out there, do some
Mhm.
baking if you're inspired to do that. Listen if you're at the beach and hanging
Mhm.
out and want to listen to one of our episodes, catch up
Yeah.
on one of your favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few months.
We'll see you in a few months. Thank you all. And
Thank you.
as always, happy baking.
baking and happy summer.
Happy summer.
Bye all.
Bye.